Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the Men Save Your Marriage show. My name is Terry. I'm your host. I did an autopsy on my failed marriage, and now I use the lessons that I learned to coach other men on how to save their marriage before it fails. I'm going to share with you the things I wish someone would have shared with me before my marriage failed. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hello, gentlemen, and welcome back in. I'm thrilled to have you here today. Obviously, you just heard the bell. That means you have entered the ring, and we are in here together in the fight to save your marriage. My name is Terry, as you know, and I'm your host, and I'm thrilled that you are here with me today, taking in this next episode. And this is an exciting time, and I want to explain to you why. In response to the first 20 episodes of this show, obviously I looked at the numbers. I had several times I offered you my contact number to text me or send me questions. And the one area I got the most response in and the most questions in was about communication in marriage. And I had promised you in the early episodes as we started, I was going to hit everything on kind of a high level and work through a lot of different aspects of marriage and saving the marriage. And then we were going to start to circle back and dig deeper into some of those areas. Given the response with communication, that's where we're going to start. So what I'm going to do is these episodes, I'm going to do a 10-episode series starting right here today on mastering communication in marriage. And we're going to talk about all kinds of different aspects of it, how it can make or break a marriage, listening to understand versus listening to respond, expressing appreciation, how to talk about your feelings without sounding weak. Here's one. This one's the one I get a lot of questions on, especially in all my coaching that I do. Reading between the lines. Understand what she's really saying. So do you need the decoder ring for women to understand communication? That's what these next 10 episodes are going to be about. Now, the episodes might not be quite as long, 20, 22 minutes like most of them have been, but they're going to be powerful, and I'm breaking them down in more detail as we go through this. And the other thing that I'm doing is this is going to be a 10-episode series. I'm going to put one out every weekday. So from the time this one rolls out, there'll be another one the next day, and the next week, so like we get to a Friday, then there'll be one on Monday. But the reason I'm going to do it that way, one, I just want to see what the response is like, and I want to hear back from you. I don't want to overwhelm you, but I also don't want you going a week or several days in between episodes when we're stringing together this one concept in marriage, in this case, mastering communication. So I'm going to put these out one every weekday for 10 days. So you're going to get a lot of information, and it's going to hopefully help you a tremendous amount. So as we dig into this, we're just going to jump into this first one, and this is episode number 21 of the show, but this is also episode number 1 of this series. The series, again, is called Mastering Communication in Marriage. Today's show is about the power of words and how communication can make or break your marriage. So if you're ready to go, buckle up, strap in, whatever you got to do. We're in the ring, the bell has rung, and it's time for us to fight for your marriage. Are you ready? Here we go. So words are the lifeblood of your marriage, spoken or unspoken. They hold the power to build up or to tear down. And in this kickoff episode in this series, we're going to explore why mastering communications is the first step to saving your marriage. The first step to saving your marriage, and how your words can become a tool for connection instead of destruction. And if you are anything like I was when my marriage was falling apart, even when I came at a conversation, even when I came at something that we needed to talk about with a sincere, honest heart that I wanted to solve it, more often than not, the words that were used, the words that I used, would somehow, in some way, create conflict. And the conversation that I came to with a sincere heart and a willingness and a desire to have it be constructive and have it be a useful conversation where connection maybe was created, it ended up once again it just devolved into a fight or an argument or a disagreement. And I could never, ever, ever figure out why. And so this whole communication piece, this is huge. I think that, I'll be perfectly honest, I think if I'd have been a better communicator, my marriage wouldn't have failed. I think there was plenty of opportunity, and I think there was plenty of time to save it and for salvation of my marriage. But because I was a poor communicator, it's totally on me. And so my words rarely, if ever, were a tool for connection. But boy, they sure did just lay waste to some areas of our lives as a marriage. And definitely were a tool of destruction. And I don't want that for you. That's why we're having this conversation. So, as always, I'm going to come at you with 3 points. We're going to start with the first one. Point number 1, words create your reality. Gentlemen, your words are just sounds, or your words are not just sounds. They're bricks building the house of your marriage. Call her lazy, and you've laid a brick of resentment that sits heavy in her chest for days, maybe weeks, because you just used one word, right? Tell her she's amazing, though, and you've built a wall of trust that she can lean into or lean on when life gets tough, because you built that wall, or you put that brick of trust in there, right? Studies show couples who use positive language report 30% higher satisfaction. Not because they're perfect, but because they're intentional. That's a word that you would, if you had this laying in front of you, you'd want to underline that one. Because they're intentional, 30% higher satisfaction. So it's time for us to be intentional with our words, not led by emotion, not led by the moment, intentional with the words that we use. So think about the last fight you guys had. What did you say? Did your words tear her down or lift her up? And this isn't about being fake or soft. It's about choosing your tools wisely. Again, your words are tools. I once worked with this guy named Mike, still do occasionally in his marriage. He would snap at his wife. You're overreaching, he would say, every time she cried. If she got upset about something to where she was an emotional woman, but when she got emotional, started to cry, you're overreaching, or you're overreacting, he would say, until he switched. And I when he finally told me what was going on, I kind of counseled him a little bit on it. And he went from the you're overreacting because there were tears in her eyes. He switched to this. All he did was just change these words. I see that you're hurting. That was it. But that shift didn't just stop the fight. It started a conversation. So if you can start noticing your words this week, let me ask you, what are you building? Are you telling her she's overreacting? Or are you saying, I can see that you're hurting? Do you understand? I hope you get from this how your words are tools. And it's up to you how you use them. You know, if you were working on the car, you would have to have the right wrench, have the right socket, have the right ratchet in order to work on your car. Well, if you want to fix this, you need to use the right tools. And telling her she's overreacting or choosing the wrong words will not get the job done. Try swapping one negative phrase for something constructive. Like, instead of saying you never help, why don't try something like, listen, I know you're tired. You can say it with some grit, but not guilt. There can't be any guilt. It is a man's move to shape reality with his voice. I'm talking to you. It is your move in your marriage, in saving your marriage, to shape reality with your voice. And the words you choose matter. So what words are you going to choose? Are you going to use the positive, constructive words that build that wall of that is contentment, that is comfort, that you've telling her she's amazing? Or are you going to use words that tear her down? All right, point number 2. Silence speaks louder than you think. Silence always speaks louder than you think. What you don't say can hurt just as much as what you do say, sometimes even more. That grunt when she asks, how was your day? Yeah, it's neutral. It isn't neutral. It's a wall. You're showing her a cold shoulder. Or have you ever, kind of shown her a cold shoulder and ignored her a little bit after a fight or after an argument? That's not peacekeeping. It's a dagger that she feels in her gut, wondering if you've checked out. So that your silence and the things that you're not saying matter just as much, sometimes even more than the things that you are saying. Silence isn't just the absence of words. It's a choice, and it screams louder than you realize. Research shows that 70% of wives say that emotional withdrawal, like silence, makes them feel abandoned. So you just keeping to yourself, she feels abandoned. This is important. You need to know this. So picture this. She's pouring out her, just as an example, she's pouring out her frustration about the kids, and you just nod, eyes on your phone. She's not mad about the kids anymore, is she? No, she's mad at you. You're not in it with her. You're not engaged. You're not listening. At least that's the way she perceives it. And you may have heard every word. But what you didn't say, the actions that you didn't take, the attention that you didn't pay, makes her feel abandoned. I have another gentleman that I worked with. His name's Dave. He'd shut down every time his wife nagged about the bills. Until, and we talked about it, and he didn't have the answers. He didn't know what to say. And rather than say something bad, he would just shut down. After some coaching, after a little counseling, it got to where when she would bring up the bills, he finally would say, listen, I just need a minute. I'll talk soon. It wasn't poetry, but it kept the door open. He recognized her, and he just told her, I need to think this through. Just give me a minute. I'll talk with you shortly. And that was what he needed in the moment. So the next time you're tempted to clam up, say something, anything to show that you're still there. Okay, try this week. Replace one silent shrug, just one. If it's that one when you walk in the door and she asks, "How was your day?" Not no shrug, or grunt. No. I'm listening. I just need to think. It's raw, it's real, and it keeps her from guessing where you stand. So these are ways that you can change, and this is eliminating that silence, because that silence, your silence, is screaming at her. All right, and the third point, intentional words heal. You don't have to be a poet or a therapist. Just be deliberate. A quick I love you before you head to work isn't a throwaway line. It's a lifeline that she can carry with her all day long. Thanks for dinner. It isn't just manners. It's a nod to her effort that says, hey, I see you and I appreciate you. Research backs this up. Couples who express gratitude daily are 50% less likely to divorce because those little words stitch up the tears that life rips into a marriage. And you know this as well as I do, man. Life's coming at you 100 miles an hour. You've got your problems. You've got everything you're trying to carry. She's got everything she's trying to carry. And now the two of you come together, and there's days you just don't feel like it, right? But you've got to learn to work through that. Couples who express gratitude daily are 50% less likely to divorce because those little words stitch up the tears that life rips into a marriage. Think about the last time you said something kind to her. Did her face light up? Did she have a little bit more of a smile, maybe a little more perk in her step? That's not weakness on your part. That's power. Your words have power. Another one of my clients, Tom, his marriage was ice cold until he started doing this. And I just offered a small suggestion. And what he started doing was he would send her a text. And all it would say was, and they had small children, and it would say, you're killing it with the kids. That's all it was. He just recognized her, noticed her, and let her know that. She didn't just smile. She started talking to him again. Because he recognized, because he used intentional words that had positive power instead of tearing down or no silence. you're killing it with the kids. That doesn't take 20 seconds to type that out. Or, hey, I appreciated dinner. That takes 3 seconds to say, right? But she makes you dinner every night. But you need to appreciate it. And that's the kind of idea here about how powerful your words can be. So pick one intentional phrase. Maybe something as simple as, hey, I'm lucky to have you. And say it like you mean it. Not like you're reading a script. Not like it's something that's planned. Hey, I'm just lucky to have you. I really appreciate you. And don't overthink it. Just let it land. Let her sit with it. She's going to have so many thoughts. First of all, she's going to feel great about herself. She's going to feel heard and seen and recognized and appreciated. All of this is going on in her head. All because you said, just like 5 words, I'm lucky to have you. And let it land with her and just let her sit in that. Watch how she softens, how the air in your home shifts. Words heal when you aim them right. And we, unfortunately, in struggling marriages have gotten so good at using words to tear each other down, to continue division, to try to prove them wrong or to try to prove how right you are. What if you show leadership and you just pause that and instead you use words with intention? You eliminate the cold shoulder and the non-speaking or the non-verbal times. You acknowledge her, even if it's just to say, listen, let me think about it. I'm thinking about it. I hear you. I just need to think before I talk, okay? Just give me a little time to think about it. We'll talk. That may be all she needs. Or how you can use your words with intention to build her up. Like, I'm lucky to have you. Gosh, you're just killing it with the kids. You really are. Something like that can change everything, and you will watch her demeanor soften. You will watch her begin to change, and that's one way your words have power to where you can have, you can start to master communication in your marriage. All right, that takes care of the 3 points. I've got some closing thoughts in just a second and a wrap up, but before we get there, even the greatest athletes, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, they had coaches to push them, to refine their skills and help them win. Why? Because no one reaches their full potential alone. If your marriage is struggling, don't go at it alone. Don't go solo. I have opened up the Men Save Your Marriage mobile coaching. It gives you direct, on-demand guidance, just like a top-tier coach, to help you navigate the tough challenges in your relationship. Through quick, personalized audio or video coaching, I'll give you the exact steps you need to turn things around. No fluff, no waiting, just real help when you need it. Your marriage is worth fighting for, so let's win this together. You can sign up for the Men Save Your Marriage mobile coaching at the website mensaveyourmarriage.com. And now the wrap up and a call to action. You ready? Let's have the final thoughts here. This week, swap one negative word or silence for something intentional. Start small, but start now. You want to save your marriage. That's why you're here. Your marriage is struggling. That's why you're here. So start now. You lead in the home, and you use your words with intentionality such that you can begin to save the marriage and to foster communication. So swap one negative word or silence, something maybe you've done repetitively, for something intentional. Start small, but start now. Then I want you to share this episode with a buddy who's struggling to connect with his wife. Text him and just tell him, hey, brother, this one's for us. And send him this information on this podcast. Then if you could, wherever you get your podcast from, I would love you to follow it and rate it with 5 stars to help more men find the podcast. And as a final thought, guys, your words aren't just talk. They are the heartbeat of your marriage. Your words, as the man in the marriage, your words are not just talk. They are the heartbeat in the marriage. I thank you guys for being here. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.